having options is not having unlimited men who want to put their penises in you, but that don't want to marry you. They don't want to date you. They don't want to give you any effort. That is not having options. And a lot of you women have the false belief because you got every Tom, Dick, and Harry in your DMs that you have options and you don't.
Okay, so this video just hit different, and I need to talk about it because what he said is actually backed by psychology, and most people are going to scroll past it without realizing it. So he's making a distinction that attachment researchers have been trying to explain for decades. There's a difference between perceived availability and actual relational value. And a lot of us, not just women, honestly are confusing the two constantly. Here's what's actually happening in your nervous system when you've got a full DM inbox and still feel lonely. That's what psychologists call an anxious attachment fuel. You're getting just enough dopamine hits from attention to feel like you have options, but not enough genuine connections to actually feel secure. It's literally the slot machine effect. Intermittent reinforcement keeps you checking, keeps you available, and sometimes it keeps you stuck. Dr. Helen Fisher researches on romantic love shows that the brain processes genuine interests, for example, like someone who wants to know your mind, your energy, your goals, completely different than it processes physical pursuit. One activates the reward system with the bonding system. The other, just reward, just dopamine, no oxytocin, no real attachment forming. You're essentially running your phone like a casino and calling it a portfolio. At this part, that's where it's going to sting a little bit. Selection pressure is real. In behavioral psychology, we know that the lost cost signals a text, a follow, a sliding in your DMs requires zero investments and therefore tell you almost nothing about compatibility or intent. High cost signals, consistency, emotional availability, wanting to build something, those are actual data points. He's literally just telling you to date your metrics. So the real question he's asking, how many people in your phone actually align with what you want? And that's not being disrespectful. That's not shaming anyone. He's just speaking from the chest. That's asking you to be honest audit of your rational ROI, return on interest. And if that number is low, that's information. That's a data point. That means it's time to either raise your standards for who gets access to you or do some inner work on why low investment attention feels like enough. Don't cap. Sometimes we keep the situationships because real intimacy is scarier than fake abundance. Vulnerability is terrifying, and a full inbox gives us the feeling of desirability without risk of actually being chosen and then rejected by someone we actually like. That's copium with a contact list. So this video makes you feel a little clapped. Don't be delulu. Just get curious. Ask yourself, what do you actually want? Then look at you, who you are, and look actually the person's offering. Is there a gap? If there's a gap, that's the work you need to do.
You want to know the real reason why good guys finish last? It's either one of two things. One, it's either you don't know that you're the prize. Or two, just because you're a prize to yourself, you think that you're a prize for everybody. What I mean by you gotta know that you're the prize is that you have to know that if you have nothing but pure intentions, right, to bring love into somebody's life, then you have to seek out somebody who has that same vendetta for you. A good guy will chase you. Y'all love a chase. And it's sad because you guys put so much effort in before evaluating who you're putting in the effort for. That's why these guys be out hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, and then realize the girl's a bitch. So those are the ones that chase people who don't like them because they forget that they're the prize. And then the other kind are the ones that will know somebody doesn't like them, but literally feels like the person has no reason to like them because they think they're a good guy. I don't know. I don't really have too much sympathy for that one.
She's not entirely wrong, but she's only giving you half the picture. The real reason good guys finish last isn't about being too good. It's about a psychological pattern called anxious attachment combined with low self-concept clarity. Let me break that down in plain English. When a genuinely good person, Someone with real intentions doesn't have a strong internal sense of their own worth. They don't lead with their value. They prove it. They overgive. They overpursue. They audition for someone's love instead of offering it from a place of security. And research in attachment theory, particularly the work of Dr. Sue Johnson, shows that this pattern, pursuing harder when you feel uncertain, actually signals low value to a potential partner, regardless of how good your intentions are. She said good guys chase, and she's right. But here's the psychology behind why. It's called the scarcity mindset. When you believe that this specific person is the only one who could want you, you treat them like a limited resource. You spend hundreds of dollars. You bend your schedule. You ignore red flags. Not because she's amazing, but because you've already decided she's the prize and you are not. Dr. Robert Cialdini's principle of social proof tells us something uncomfortable. People assign value based on how others perceive something. When you chase relentlessly, you're essentially telling her, I don't get chosen often. And that becomes a self fulfilling prophecy. Now, her second point is actually sharper than it sounds. Believing you deserve someone simply because you're a good person? That's what psychologists call entitlement based attraction. Goodness is a baseline, not a currency. Character matters enormously, but attraction is also about energy, confidence, and emotional availability. You can be genuinely a good man and still be emotionally unavailable, conflict avoidant, or lacking directions. Those things matter too. So, what's the actual fix? It's not to become cold or play games, it's to develop what psychologists call secure self esteem, the kind that doesn't depend on any one person's validation. You evaluate early, you invest proportionally, and you stay rooted in the truth that your goodness is something someone gets to receive, not something you have to sell. Good guys don't finish last because they're good, they finish last when they forget they have a choice too.
Somebody ghosted you, but you didn't reach out to them, meaning you didn't chase them. Okay, let's say the conversation just ended and this person just never reached back out to you, and you never reached back out to them. And there's just pure silence between you guys. Guess what? They never ghosted you. In fact, they think that you've ghosted them. So actually, they don't have the power here. You do. Yeah, you just made them question their own existence. Because when they ghosted you, they thought you would run after them. They thought that you would give them the reaction that they needed, but you didn't. You just sat back and you're kind of just laughing at them. You're just like, I'm not going to run after you. I'm not going to chase after you. You will not get access to my energy. So now they're scrambling. This is why they're watching your stories. Yeah, this is why they're watching your stories. They're watching your stories to see what's new with you. They're also trying to have a sense of control in this situation. These kind of people, they like to control the narrative. But when you just pull back your energy and you don't give them the reaction that they want, you don't take the bait, you don't then double text, you don't then chase after them. Oh, somebody ghosted me, let me chase after them. It literally makes these people spiral. This is why they become obsessed with you. You just stop texting me and I don't care to speak to somebody who stops texting me. I'm not the type of person who's going to perform for you. I'm not going to run after you. You stop texting. Okay, end of conversation. Bye. Oh, you thought I was going to double text? Oh, you thought I was going to bring in another conversation? No, not my job. Okay, so these kind of people, they feed off your reaction. So if you recognize that somebody is ghosting you, right? Ghosting you. Yeah, the minute you ghost them back, whatever you want to call it, I just call it just pulling my energy back and not giving this person the time of day. Once you do that, they become addicted to you. They become addicted to you. Because most people, when they get ignored, they chase. Because it actually triggers the reaction in us humans to run after that person, because we want that consistency and we need that validation. Our brain is saying, oh my God, I need clarity. I need consistency. But if you're the type of person that somebody does that to you and you just ignore them, oof, you're gonna have a lot of people obsessed with you, okay? I do tell people to take my advice with a pinch of salt.
She's onto something real here, and there's actually decades of psychological research that explains exactly why this works. What she's describing has a name: intermediate reinforcement withdrawal, and is one of the most powerful psychological forces in human behavior. Here's how it works. When someone ghosts you, expecting a reaction, a double text, a follow up, some sign of desperation, and they get nothing, their brain doesn't move on. It actually does the opposite. Psychologist B.F. Skinner found that unpredictable rewards create the strongest behavioral loops, stronger than consistent ones. It's the same mechanism behind social media notification and mobile games. When you don't react, you become the unpredictable variable. And the human brain is wired to fixate on which it cannot resolve. There's also something called the Zeigarnik effect, a well-documented phenomenon where our minds obsessively return to unfinished things. Completed interactions get filed away. Unfinished ones, they run and repeat. When you don't chase, you leave the interaction unresolved in their mind, and they can't stop thinking about it. And that is this mechanism that we call neuroscience. Now, here's where I want to add some nuance, because this advice is powerful, but it cuts both ways. When she's really describing at its healthiest, it's a secure attachment. Secure attached people don't chase unavailable people, not because they're playing games, but because they genuinely don't need to. Their sense of self isn't disrupted by someone pulling away. That calm is what reads as magnetic. Here's the difference that matters though. If you're withholding your energy as a strategy to make someone obsessed with you, you're still organizing your entire behavior around them. That's just a more sophisticated version of a same anxiety loop. But if you pull back because you genuinely respect your own time and energy, that's an entirely different thing. And people feel that difference. So the real takeaway isn't ignoring people to make them chase you. It's that build a life and a sense of self so full that when somebody goes quiet, your first instinct isn't to panic. That is what people can't stop thinking about. If this hit differently for you, go ahead and give this video a like. It helps more people find this content. Share with somebody who needs to hear it. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I drop videos like this all the time, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.